the star of today's episode. Hello and welcome to Moto Life. For those who don't know me, my name is Branko. I'm a motorcycle aficionado, and on this channel try to spread the joy of two wheels, inspire you to ride, try to make you a better rider. I bring some of the reviews of motorcycles and gear. Check out all my videos, and you can also check me out on Instagram. Make sure to click follow and subscribe everywhere if you like what you see. Now today, this is a special guest because this one is a horse from my own stable. So unlike sometimes when I bring you reviews of the bikes that I just have for a couple of hours to ride or a weekend, this one I know exactly what it's like to live with day in and day out in all kinds of condition. So I'm gonna bring it to you as an owner's review, and I don't want to be biased. I might be a little bit because I love this bike, but I'm gonna make sure to be as objective as possible. So let's get in it. Now I've had this bike for about 10,000 miles. That's 16,000 kilometers here in my butt. And in those 16,000 kilometers, I have had but one issue, and I'm going to start with that. And this issue wasn't related to anything manufacturer faulty or something like this. In fact, I've had these tires mounted, and I did them in a workshop where I guess the guys weren't that experienced with this kind of a setup because Guzzi has a shaft drive. So when they were putting the wheel back in, they damaged one of the shaft seals a little bit. So there was a oil leak, and I went down to the dealer, ordered some new seals, got the seals back, put it back. It's not a complicated work. I didn't have to, rebuild the whole final drive or whatever, the shaft. No. So that was it. And when I think about it, 10,000 kilometers, and that was the only issue, I think it's not bad. Especially because service intervals are 10,000 kilometers, and they include oil change and valve check and all the filters, and that's not bad either. I guess most of the people will do it probably once a year. And diving into the specs, if you don't know what this bike is, Moto Guzzi California is a power cruiser from Mandello del Lario, and I believe this is their pride and joy, because it's definitely my pride and joy, because I love the way it looks, I love the way it sits, and I love the way it runs. But as I said, I'm going to try to be objective, so you take a look at it and tell me what's bad. I guess going in from the front to the back, I could, nitpick in this Piaggio type, Aprilia Atlantic type rear bumper. Kind of extends out a little bit too much. Although I like these lights, especially in how they light up. But yeah, if this was kind of a drag type, something cut down, with some LEDs, probably would have been even better, more muscular. The engine is Moto Guzzi's typical transverse 90 degrees V-twin. It has dry clutch, single plate. So the oil of the gearbox and the oil of the engine are separate. So I guess if you wanted to, you could use more car engine oil in it, you know, to run the engine. I haven't tried, but you feel free to experiment. I know some older Guzzis that have been running on diesel engine oil for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. So as far as the specs go, we got 1400 cc, and then we got 1400. Yeah, security. They come to check if I'm okay or whatnot. Okay, thank you, I'm fine. All good. Just nice people. They're worried, they're not suspicious. So 1400 cc, which is plenty. I mean, it's not 1700 of a Vulcan or a Harley Davidson, or, you know, 2.5 liters of a Triumph rocket, but it makes for a very, very nice and enjoyable ride. It has 120 newton meters of torque, which are readily available from 2700 RPM, and when you ride it, you will feel it that this is where you want to be. I feel like takeover is right there at 2500, you know, and you don't really want to be under that. It's the happiest between 4000 and 5000 RPM. It is absolutely the happiest, and highway cruising speeds are right there, you know, in 6th gear, 4130, 5140 and a few. And you know, you can just cruise in 6th gear, and you will always have more than enough power and torque to overtake, and on highways never to have to change gear at all. It has a typical Moto Guzzi vibe. So when you start it on, everything shakes. But as soon as the revs pick up, everything smoothens out, and there is absolutely no vibration. And I don't know how to explain it, but there is absolutely nothing. Like, there is nothing. I've never experienced you know, numbness in my hands or in my feet or in my bum. Never. It just smoothens out, and you can ride for hours and hours. And that is helped by the nice, wide, and very, very well padded seat. Now, this one has floorboards. So for me, for my specific posture, and I guess I can show you this. Yep. So let's show you this. For my specific posture, let's set this up. This is gonna be totally unprofessional, but I don't care because this is my bike. So I just want to share. For my posture, when I sit on it and I'm cruising on a highway, and my legs are up here, so the knee and the hip are kind of in the same line, but because of the bars that are kind of not very swayed back, over here perhaps would have been more comfortable for a really long ride. So because you're kind of pushed back, and this geometry actually makes for that less than 90-degree angle in the hip. So for somebody with long legs, and my quite are, it's like 33-inch inseam, and I have long legs. I'm about 6 foot tall, and as I am like this, I would, after like, let's say 2-3 hours, start to feel a little pressure in the hips and kind of want to move ahead. How I sort it out is I just move my feet back over to the edge of the floorboards, push myself a little bit backwards, so I lean on a little bit more on my wrist, and this is also a very nice position. And this is also a very nice position for attack ride, like when you want to ride a little bit more spirited, when you get into the twisties, when you are kind of really want to get in it. You know, this is a really good position, and it also balances the bike out pretty well. Let's move a little bit from the sun. Now, brakes are Brembos in the front, Brembos in the back, radial, monoblock, 4-piston calipers at the front, and I don't know which specific Brembo brake this is, but I know that when I was buying EBC brake pads to put on there, they were the same like for Yamaha R1, I guess. In the back, just a regular floating 2-piston Brembo, also plenty of stopping power. 270 millimeters, quite a big disc in the rear, 320 millimeters in the front, double discs with ABS. As far as the suspension goes, we got those huges. I think they're 46 millimeters front forks. They're inverted, and here in the back we have two just regular old shocks with preload adjustment. They're set up. This bike is set up stiff, so it's not a very soft bike. So I guess it is good in a sense because it is a roadster, but at bumpy stuff, over speed bumps, if you are not very kind of, you know, careful, it's going to bounce you, especially in the back. And this one is almost at the top of its preload, and that means like the least possible amount of preload. Before I had more, and it was really bouncy, but I used to ride a lot with my wife, and she loves this bike, even in the back, this seat. And I also have, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see some pictures of the bike with the sissy bar and the grab rails. It's super comfortable, you know. There is more than enough space. These things come out. There's more than enough space to accommodate the pillion, and I'm gonna tell you, there is no difference really in performance. Not that I have noticed. It's a big engine with a lot of torque and 90 horsepower, if I didn't mention it earlier. Yep, and it just goes. One thing I've noticed is that with a pillion, with some more load on the back, it is happier to lean in and take kind of faster turns with the pillion in. Probably because I guess it's a bit of a loading of the rear wheel and kind of balance steering. It's not just counter steering from the back, but also body steering, and it really goes nicely through. We have a heel toe shifter, which is awesome. I love heel toe shifters. They're super convenient on floorboards, and it's just pop, 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 da, da. It just goes. It just goes. It's quick to shift. Clutchless shifts are not an issue, but the clutch is also kind of not on the firm side, so it's easy. And with the big flywheel and a single plate clutch, you know, it doesn't mind kind of spending a second between gears. You don't have to quick shift because you have a lot of this spinning forces inside, and because it's heavy and low, there is quite a lot of inertia. So if you're speeding up and you press on and you pop it in and you punch out, even if it takes a second, yeah, you will not really lose any speed. The inertia just keeps pulling it. Um, the paint finish is really nice. This bike is 6 years old and I don't specifically wax it a lot and around, and you know, like I clean it and wash it as much as needed. And even now, you look, it's not picture perfect, you know, there is some dust on top, but we do live in the desert, so it is what it is. As far as the technology goes, we got a throttle by wire and 3 riding modes. So the 3 riding modes are speed, touring, and rain. There is no real difference in power output, but in speed the throttle response is faster, veloce, yeah. The throttle response is faster and it's kind of more eager to suck in the air and just, you know, like open up. But really on the long run it doesn't bring much to the experience of the ride, so I'm just always in touring mode, and I literally never feel like I need more, but that depends on the person. Rain mode just changes the traction control settings, maybe reduces the power and the throttle response a little bit. We have traction control 4 level, that's Moto Guzzi's MGTS or whatever they call it. So you can set it up through the menu. And we have ABS, of course, front and back, which cannot be switched off, but I don't know why you would on a bike like this. It's an excellent ABS, and I am yet to actually feel it kick in real life situations. When I'm just practicing emergency braking, things like this, yes, especially in the front, but other than that, no. Brake is very easy to modulate, very easy to modulate. You can, like when you're riding and trail braking, 1 finger is enough. In normal city riding, 2 fingers is absolutely more than enough. You never need to grab the brakes, so 1 finger, 2 finger, and it stops very fast, and it never feels catchy, never feels, you know, like it's gonna just, you know, jolt you. Never anything like this. Rear brake also feels very nice, especially in low speed riding and everything. Now, coming to low speed riding, considering that there are floorboards and there on that side you have the brake lever is kind of high. So when you're slow speed riding with the V engine like this, and if you're taller like me, you kind of have to push your knees out a little bit. You have to kind of, you know, open up so you can press the rear brake and modulate it, but it has a really nice turning circle and low center of gravity, and it's very actually easy at slow speed rides. It's quite agile. What else? 260/16 and the regular 130/70 18 at the front. I have Avon Cobra chromes, and they are, so far as the cruiser tires go, one of the best tires, if not the best tire that I've ever had. If I have another cruiser ever in future, if I need to change these, I will buy the same tires because they are absolutely amazing. Great life, amazing grip and control, really inspire confidence, and that's all I have to say. I'm not gonna talk too much about the tires. The trip computer there, everything is there, you know, like service things, voltage, kilometers to empty, current, mileage per gallon or kilometers per liter, or liters per 100 kilometers, whatever you wish. And speedo nice and big, rev counter is analog, and I like that. And that's about it. We have cruise control. Cruise control is kind of caveman cruise control. It's a button that you kind of press and hold inside, and you really need to press it to kind of activate cruise control. And then when you are at the speed that you want to be, you press it again and it locks it in. Yeah. And you cannot modulate speed like up and down by 1 or 2 or whatnot, and it's kind of difficult to set it on exactly the speed that you want. You know, you have to kind of hold the revs, you know, the specific revs, and be a couple of seconds at the specific revs and not accelerate or decelerate, and press it, and then it's going to be at the speed that you want. But it's still cruise control. It still allows you to, you know, rest your arms, and you know, when you're on a highway and everything, you can relax and enjoy the ride. And as far as highway goes, it's a train. What for the big rake of, I'll lie to you now, I forgot the number. I'll write it right here. And a big trail, and it's a heavy and long wheelbase. It's a train on tracks. On a highway, it's like nothing. Doesn't know side winds, doesn't know bumps, doesn't know nothing. Like hands-free like this, it just tracks, and does not care. Well, you can just relax and do as many kilometers as you want. Well, not as many as you want, only as many as the tank allows you. With this 21-liter tank, I was averaging, and usually I am, around 5.6 to 6 liters per 100 kilometers, which I guess is somewhere around 40-45 miles per gallon. And it takes me to about, let's say 200 miles or 320 kilometers. I normally refill much earlier than that, usually at 240, 250 I would refill, but I went to 320 and I still didn't run out of gas. I refilled and it was like 20 liters and some, so I had a little bit more left. Side stand, easy to find, pops, sounds. This bike has its own sound. It has a lot of character. This rattle, this squeaks, but nothing really major. So like my exhaust cover would rattle a little bit, but this is because these are aftermarket exhausts. They are Guzzi Tech, and talking about Guzzi Tech, they are really an amazing resource for everything Guzzi related. Excellent forum, good aftermarket support. The guys from there will really help you out. Send them an email, whatever you need. So if you decide to get a Guzzi, make sure you check Guzzi Tech. And I have a couple of extras. Nothing is really important. This, and then the heat deflectors, and then the little fancy mirrors, and the little windscreen. And as I said, I have a sissy bar here with grab rails, and a tail tidy with a side mounted plate. Oil cooler is there, nice and low. So we have an extender on the front fender. How they solved it in Audace is they removed that fender extender, so the fender is a bit shorter, but they created kind of a belly pan type protector for the oil cooler, which really looks really nice. And I think if you're in styling and like this would be a really nice addition and a really good look for the bike. That's it. I really don't know what to tell you more. It will depend on your local dealer and the dealer support that you have where you are. You know, I would recommend, these are rare engines. They're simple, they're very simple, but not everybody has worked on them. It's not a Japanese inline 4 or an American V-twin. So if you have one of these and want to get them serviced or fixed, I would suggest you know somebody who knows these bikes or engines, or if you're a hands-on guy, you can do it yourself. You can get all the workshop manuals online, and again, Guzzi Tech, amazing forum and really knowledgeable and helpful people. So you know, you can just wrench on it yourself. It's super simple. It's basically a car engine, you know, like gearbox and the sump is there, and the big V-twin, these covers just come off. You don't have to even remove the tank or anything. Valves are right there to be adjusted. It is really simple. All right. So that is my point of view. Your point of view might be different. You might think it's ugly, maybe it's not your style, but then I don't know why you're watching this video. Maybe you like me. Yeah, okay. So I'll see you next time. Thank you for stopping by. Check out my other videos. Check out my Instagram account, and also go ahead and check our Dubai Biker Boys channel, when me and Hish are doing a similar kind of content, but kind of in a dual manner, and there's a lot of banter, and we are not very professional, but at least we're having fun, right? Thanks a lot. See you next time. Ciao.